in 2003. And so I would do school programs,
Right.
blues history. It was my, I wanted to work with at-risk kids. That was my desire.
Sure.
And there was so little funding in schools that a lot of times, instead of being able to work with a small group of at-risk kids, they'd put me in an auditorium with 1,200 kids, a microphone, and acoustic guitar, and say, okay, there's a lady here to talk about the blues, and it's like, thanks, because kids want to be, they think, the blues. It's
Right.
like, no, we're going to talk about the blues. And
Right.
So anyway, I started seeing, I'd show up at a school. It's like, well, where's the music teacher? It's like, well, we don't have one anymore. There's one teacher floating between 5 or 6 schools.
Right.
Art teacher, one teacher floating. And so, one week in particular, I played at the most affluent school in Cincinnati in Indian Hills. And the toilets flush when you stand up. And the reason I say that is because a few days later I went to Mount Auburn, which is an inner city school, and the toilets didn't flush.
Right.
Period.
Gotcha.
It wasn't about
Yeah.
standing up. It was just, and it was like, whoa. And I remember asking the kids, it's like, okay, who plays a musical instrument? And they looked at me like, lady, what planet are you from? We don't have musical instruments.
Right.
So it just broke my heart. I had to redirect real quick because I'm pretty street smart. And it's like, whoa, that caught me off guard. And so I started Music for Change, trying to get music into low-performing schools and schools that really
Right.
needed music.
Sure.
Now, I've been really busy with my own career, and I haven't been able to always work that like I would like to. And so I've continued to do school programs as they've popped up. I didn't want to compete with blues in the schools.
Right.
My motive for going in was slightly different. I just spent 2 weeks in North Dakota and Minnesota and did like 21 shows in 10 days the first 2 weeks of November. I did University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, and I did University of Minnesota in Crookston. And then the rest were high schools
Right.
in that area. That's about a 30-mile radius. And I did like 15 school shows, from assembly programs to talking to smaller classes and groups, a couple of theater shows. And so I like to, it's like whatever the school can use me for. It's like, are there kids? Is there a conversation that we need to have about drugs? Is there a conversation that we need to have about the importance of school and about education? Is there a reality check kids need to talk about, do you really want the arts for your career? Is that
Sure.
what you're thinking about?
Right.
Let me tell you, some things that would be helpful, for you to be best prepared. So usually I will call a school and, just say, these are the things that I can speak to. Having my own label, doing 16 CDs, touring as much. It's like, how can I be of service,
Right.
here? And so Music for Change is something that now I have a little bit more time because I'm not, I'm only doing about just festivals mainly,
Sure.
except for CD release parties with the band and the rest being solo shows. Now I can take in a powerful solo show with loops and beats and everything that's a lot more involved than just
Sure.
an acoustic,
Sure.
which the kids are like, whoa, that's, all that stuff really speaks their language. So, that's the mission for Music for Change, is to bring the arts, building really a bridge between art and commerce, between, the schools and communities, trying to get the importance of music really
Sure.
heard. Because, I don't know where I would be without music.
Right.
I honestly don't, because school, I learned how to learn as an adult, and I learned how to learn through learning to play
Sure.
a guitar.
Well, how can my listeners find out more about the Music for Change program? Can they go to your
Yes,
website?
if you go to
or-
my website, on the nav bar, you'll see M4C, Music for Change.
Okay.
Click on that, and that gives you a good description of what's going on. You see some photos. You can, feel free to hit me with email if you have any questions. That page is growing, and that information, I have different programs that I offer. And so anybody that wants any information, and if you would like to donate or contribute to that money goes directly towards doing school programs and pulling that
Sure.
off.
You know what? We'll put a link to that on our Facebook page.
I would really
so.
appreciate that.
All right.